So, peace, y'all. What's going on? What's happening? This your girl Tiffany here, live in the pit. And I just want to talk to you guys about how oppression, violence, poverty, and also trauma has been normalized. Again, oppression, poverty, trauma, and violence has been normalized, especially within our community. These things are normalized. These things are looked at as being normal behavior. Okay? Now, it don't matter how productive, how positive somebody can come along and try to help humanity out. These things are going to always be a major factor. These things are going to always stand out. These things have been conditioned in us to accept as normal behaviors. So yes, these things have been normalized. Again, these things have been normalized. So recent news, you see what's been going on lately, right? Especially with these rappers. Yellow Breezy just got arrested and he's getting ready to get charged on federal indictment. Lil Durk, just to name a few. So these things are celebrated within our community. These things have been praised in our community. So trauma is celebrated. Oppression is celebrated. Violence is celebrated. All these things are celebrated. If somebody try to do something productive, nobody give it attention. Nobody entertain it because it's not exciting. It's not as exciting as seeing a lot of drama. It's not as fun as seeing drama taking place in the neighborhood. But when it's somebody's loved ones, now all of a sudden it's a problem. Now we gotta make changes, right? Now we gotta stop the violence. We gotta end poverty. We gotta do all these things, right? And it's not that people have been silent about the situation. People spoke on it, but they don't get enough attention. Then you want to know why people like Charleston White comes along and do what he does. He's doing it because he's showing how humans operate off of hypocrisy. So at once upon a time, he was on this positive stuff. But because people didn't give him no attention and people laughed at him, made fun of him or whatever, he switched gears and started doing things that is considered as popular. Saying things that is highly offensive to people. He became the entertainment. He done made a lot of people upset, but he made a lot of people laugh. But why should we get mad at people like Charleston? We can't get mad at him for the things that he be saying. You know, you gotta look at yourself in the mirror as humans and see that we are the cause of our own destruction. We are the cause of our own chaos. We are the cause of our own situation. We put ourselves in this as humans. And collectively, we're not trying to make a change. I said in one of my previous videos that the black community has died, or the black community was in a coma, rather. And I'm going to explain why I say the black community has been in a coma. Because all of this, the destruction that took place in the community, it has been normalized. It's been considered as normal behavior. It has been acceptable. And we can go back to the crack cocaine era, right? That was the done deal for the black community. The black community been in a coma ever since. People trying to perform CPR. People try to resuscitate it. There's people who was trying to revitalize the community, but guess what? The community is still in a coma. The community is still in ICU. So it's really, at this point, it's like there is no hope. It's really no hope for humanity. What can't you do? So only thing a person can do is work on themselves and be that change. Because you can't really change what goes on the outside. Yeah, you could bring inspiration to people. You could try to help people. You know, you can help certain people around you. But as a collective, you can't really do much. You can't do anything when there's a group of people who are not trying to be on the same page. You know, if it ain't about money, then it doesn't mean anything. I mean, if you look at what's going on right now, just look at what's going on. Look at what's going on the internet. You got the diaspora wars. You got people making all kind of false claim or coming up with pseudo history and whatnot. And then you got videos where you can see people fighting all the time. There's shootouts. You see all this stuff taking place on social media, right? And it gets a lot of views, it gets a lot of likes, all of that. As long as people continue on fighting back and forth with each other, right? Making threats with one another. As long as there's some form of oppression, disrespect towards women, people harming children. Again, that's been normalized. That has been looked at as okay. We got the no snitching culture, right? Don't snitch. But people misuse the concept of people have misused the concept of snitching. Because snitching really has something to do with those who are involved in organizations, like criminal organization, right? That's what snitching had a lot to do with. So if somebody got in trouble, they couldn't tell on everybody that's in the organization. That's where the concept of snitching, no snitching, came in. But now it's applied to civilians. If you're a civilian, you telling, you got a lot to worry about. You got to worry if those individuals or people that's affiliated with those people, right, that you telling on, if they gonna come after you or they gonna do something to your loved ones. So it's like you have to be numb about the situation. You gotta look the other way. or you gonna get got. As humans, we gotta blame ourselves for this because we normalized it. But then also we gotta look at as part of the human nature, right? We gotta look at it as the negative side of human nature. See, this is the downside of human nature right here. But these things get more recognition, more praises than somebody trying to make a difference. Than people who are really trying to show the other side of the community. I mean, what more can you say? I know it sounds like I'm being a little nonchalant, and it's not that I'm nonchalant about this whole thing. But when you get older, the older that you get, the more that you start to recognize things. Recognize that you really can't control everything that's going on. Only thing you can do is control yourself. And you start seeing things for what they really are. At one point in time, you didn't want to accept it, but now you see how things are really are. When you look at it from a psychology standpoint and a sociology standpoint, you see that this is how it is. This is what it is. And all you can try to do, especially if you're a parent, you can try to help your kids and enlighten them. You can try to save your kids from going down the route, for going down the path that's going to lead to destruction. That's all you can do. You can try. But then once they step out here into this world, right, their life is at risk. Let's just keep it 100. Your life is at risk every single day. Because you don't know what goes through humanity's mind. You don't know what goes through the next person's head. You don't know how that person feels, the person that live next door to you, or that person that live across the street, or that person living down the street. You don't know what's going on. Hell, you don't even know what's going on in the people in your household. You don't know what kind of thoughts they have. The people that you thought you knew, somebody, especially someone that you grew up with, you don't really know them. You don't really know anything about them like you think you do. You know what I'm saying? So you think you really know a person, but you really don't know a person. There's a proverb, there's a Japanese proverb that says there's 3 types of masks that people wear. The mask that they show to their family and friends, the mask they show to the public, and the mask behind closed doors. Humans are the most complicated species. Humans are the most complicated organism. Humans are the most complicated organism out there. Out of all organisms. Because you never know. One minute a human being could be this way, next minute there'll be something totally different. However, I just wanted to share my thoughts. And do I feel bad about what's going on with these rappers out here? Not really. I really don't, because they know what they doing. They put themselves out there. They not sticking to the code that they speak of. Because if you was really sticking to the code that you're speaking of, right, why would you put it in your songs? Why would you brag about it? Why would you get on social media and talk about it? Why would you get on the interviews and talk about it? Why you go live about the situation? Why go live about what you have done, knowing that you're being watched? And these individuals, they get on Vlad TV, especially knowing that Vlad is going to ask those personal questions about their background. They get on DJ Smalls and these individuals asking all kind of questions. Hell, they get on Breakfast Club. You know, you can't reveal everything if you're gonna be about that life, because you know you got eyes watching you every time. But see, people, social media got a lot of people messed up. Social media done got a lot of people in trouble because people really revealing themselves. So a lot of people are in trouble behind social media. So I'm gonna go ahead and log off, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, or wherever you are. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Until next time, peace and power and elevation. Ramadan Mubarak, Juma Mubarak, and I will talk to you guys later. All right.